at this time. Every one of you know who she is. But I want to introduce Beth Harrington, our Chairman Director, and she'll come up this moment. She's got an introduction so she needs to make.
Good morning. I feel like I talk all the time, but it's a very exciting morning, and the Chamber of Commerce is very pleased this year to have Mr. Tommy Long as the hometown hero. It was a unanimous decision that was made by our board of directors. I've gotten to know Tommy this year. He's a wonderful person, and I know he doesn't like to take that kind of credit, but he is. We all know what a wonderful man he is, the friend to agriculture he is. I've heard all the stories about his dedication to coaching and this community and the students that are in this community and his years of teaching and giving back to this community. And I think he was a perfect fit and very avid cattleman, and I'm glad to see a lot of his friends and acquaintances here this morning. That's a testimony to what a wonderful person he is. And at this time, I would like to recognize someone. Her name is Miss Kiana Moore, and she is our Miss Jacksonian 2013, and she's going to be assisting Mayor Klein and I this morning with our awards. And one of the requirements of our Jacksonian Days pageant for the past 2 years has been to be present. We feel like if we have a Miss Jacksonian, that she needs to take part in this community. So we would like to congratulate and thank Kiana for being here this morning and gracing us with her very pretty face. This award is your official hometown hero plaque for you to have at your home to long remember this award. And this is a mini replica at the top here of what's going to be placed on the actual wall of fame. So, verbatim of what you look like. We think it looks wonderful, and
That's a good job.
Oh, yes, you know me, I want to here. All right, 1, 2, 3. More. 1, 2, 3. Sometime or another, and I would like to leave this down here at the Washington Center for a few days, if it's okay. I've got to thank my wife. Martha, are you here somewhere? Basil, you know what she does, Wilson, you do, and all this. And she put this together the last 2 days. And she wound up last night ending it. But it's a lot of history here. And Linda, I thank you for what that the girls and all of you, whatever. Tommy, I've never seen such a good picture of you, I'll be honest with you. It's excellent. I want to go back to 1953. Allen County that year, with Keith Gerald, and I know Keith, you're here somewhere, I've never seen you. You and Tommy Long was the guards of that ball club, and some of the others, Billy Uniting, whatever, so on. That was the first, I think, state tournament team Allen County had at that time. You all love it. 1954 came on, and this is up here. You and Tommy also led it. Charles Napier, I think, was involved, Tommy. And Mr. Reeves Jackson's son, maybe. Center part or whatever. In 54. But these people put it together in 54 and went back to the state tournament that year. Also followed that year, Tommy Long made the all-state team. And that's when you earned it. It wasn't a Career Journal All-State or whatever, but anyway, he was an all-state. And he got to participate in the Kentucky-Indiana ball club that summer, right? Kentucky All-Star. Then that county took him through his high school, and then he got a scholarship at Western Kentucky University. And He ran up on an old boy from Arkansas over there named Montrose Holland. Some of you guys out of Bowling might know Montrose, but he kind of helped Tommy go through Western over there and took care of him. And Montrose has been here, but he has an illness in the family this morning. So I'm just leading back into history, going further and farther along, whatever. Then he graduated. Tommy Long graduated from Western over there, and he had a construction job. But in 1958, and I'm throwing all this together, words right or not, Tommy, it's some things I remember. Allen County School System built 4 new elementary schools. I'll let you know what I'm talking about there. Petroleum, over here, White Plains. Mr. Basil realized that we had grown, that he needed an assistant coach. And he contacted Tommy. And Tommy wasn't even sure that he even wanted to go into coaching, and he's told me that, but he took the job. And bless his heart, did a wonderful job. And that started the youth program here in our school system. We go on further. Ball clubs, I'm seeing people out here in August today play at different times or whatever. But then, in the fall of 1965, there's a little old blonde-headed guy showed up in a GTO with a top back on it. I won't call any names, you can guess. Because one of the older teachers over at Allen County said, "My Lord, what has education gone to?" But I was hired as Mr. Basil's and Tommy's assistant, maybe. I was looking for a job also. It's the greatest step I've ever made in my life to get to accomplishment of that. Mr. Basil coached one more year. He retired, went to superintendent. Hired Tommy as his head coach and me as assistant. We coached out there 5 or 6 years together with his leadership and his input. Norman, I think you said it last night. 67, 70, we had state champion dreams. And it's because of this man right here tonight. Okay, then it come out he had to be certified as a driver's ed teacher. Bless his heart. There are stories every day on the street out here from driver's ed students. He carried on in that. I want to back up just a moment though. Tommy, there's a guy, I've just noticed back here that we need to say something. In 1968, I think, you notice I'm using that word, I think, Mr. Basil and the board decided they was going to start football. And we hired a young man named Jim Myers. Jim, I'm going to give you this mic in a few minutes, okay? But thank you so much for showing up this morning. Okay, then we move on. He spent the rest of the time driver's ed, education, whatever. And you got to back up, so I've got to back up too. He also met that young lady over here in about sometime 1960s. 59. They got married. And look, what right here is what we've come to that or whatever. But she's been with him and backing and support all these years, and that's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right, now we go on up. He's been over here this morning in the wind. I've already kind of almost got out of it. He's been selling steaks over at Charles all morning, putting things together. Lee Jackson, you know, you've been Steve Osborne, y'all done been over with and everything else. But he's been very active in the farming operations of the cattle business over the years. I think he and I joke every time. Now, when was that, Tommy, that me and you went broke that time in the cattle business? Or how many times have we been broke now? 2 or 3 times, and you know that's a story and part of history too. But what I'm here and saying about all this history this morning, I cannot make a stronger statement than I made. I've got to try to keep from doing this. Tommy, can you come up here with me? He said, "Mayor, I'm not going to say anything." I said, "Yeah, an opportunity, yeah." I never did have a brother. But if I had, I'd want to be this. At this time, now where we're going for this, I don't know if I'm leaving anything out, but Tommy, I would like you to just raise this right here if you could, and leave the other one. This is what's supposed to be on the wall this morning. And this is a start. This would be put on the wall to the regular plat. And Tommy, this is yours, brother. This is an honor we can bestow on you as our community and what you've done with your life. Okay? Say thank you. Some reason the people of Scottsville about 10, 11 years ago, whatever it's been, elected me as mayor of the city of Scottsville. This is a proclamation that I have put together, or Gail put together, and I'm going to read it, and that's ready to go. I'm not going to read all that, my Lord, but I'm going to go at it. It says, whereas, the mayor, Tommy Long, presents this to you, and I'm declaring April the 27th, this year, 2013, as Tommy Long Day at Scottsville. You didn't think you'd ever put that. There's something after whereas, but I'm not going to read all that to you. Speakers, I think I did with yours, but anyway, that's an honor that I can bestow on you. I have one more, but right now, what I'd like to do, would you like to say anything? And you'll say, now, Mayor, I didn't want to talk. You don't have him back, but he can. So I'm giving you the mic.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Thank all y'all for coming out today. I'd like to recognize the people who are responsible, I guess, for everything I do with my wife, Nancy, my daughter, Judy, Nancy's son-in-law, David. They're the ones that keep me straight. Now, talking about my basketball career, I wouldn't have been anything and been for one guy, and just about. He took a little old tow-headed, blonde-headed boy, wasn't worth 15 cents. He saw something that I guess that he took care of me. He done a lot of things I didn't like, I guess, but later on in life, I understood what he was doing. And another thing, Keith Gerald was probably the best ball player that ever come out of Allen County. I don't know what. He was good. They had to guard him, and I could go and do what I wanted to. But I wouldn't have been anything on the team had it been for Keith Gerald. That's how good he was. And as far as the reason I'm up here, I look to see several guys back here that had a lot to do with my life in basketball. I sure appreciate it. I wouldn't be up here today if it hadn't been for them. Somebody asked in that article, what do you contribute to coaching? I said, great, it's one thing, having good ball players, and I had them. And you see several of them sitting right here. I see a lot of my friends sitting around. You know, it's something to be raised in a community and be able to raise your family, be able to come back to the community and work, raise a family, be able to retire, have friends, teach a lot of young kids. And the Lord has really blessed me in that respect. I've had an opportunity to come back and do all this. And I just want to thank the mayor and the judge, the leadership of this county, and the Chamber of Commerce for this honor. I don't deserve this by any means. I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for all y'all. But I sure appreciate it, and I wish I'd worried about it not. And I hope that I've given back just a little bit to this community, what this community has given to me. Just a little bit. If I've done that, I'll be satisfied. And I thank you all for it. I thank my family and everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, put it on.
I want to tell you about the night that me and Keith Gerald scored 40 points. He got 38 and I got 2. Mr. Battle said, Tommy, you didn't do too good tonight. I said, well, I done better than I did the last game.
Not good.
I really wasn't expecting this, but you just can't get these two men to talk, can you? Y'all know what I'm saying. You can't get one to talk, you can't get one not to talk. I've been all over the state of Kentucky and met great, great people. I really, really have. Linda's giving you signs. Can you read all those signs?
No, but you can. You've had them for years.
Instead of going, I don't know what all that means. I've been all over the state and met wonderful, wonderful people, I really have. It's always nice to look back and say the greatest people I ever met were where I came from. So the most influential people I ever met came from here. You all, they don't get any higher on that ladder than Tom and Nancy Long. It just don't happen. The greatest decision he ever made was sitting beside him right now. It may have been a good decision. Do you have any heroes in your life that you don't want to contradict? You just feel bad about it? I'm going to Tommy Long. He was a hero of mine way before today. Way before. He said he wouldn't have been what he is today if it hadn't been for Jimmy Bassett. I know Coach Bassett influenced a lot of us, including him, but Coach, I got to disagree with you. You'd have still been a great man. And I appreciate y'all so, so much. And thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that. Don't forget tonight, the grandest old opera. This is Earl Hensey talking to you now. Get out there. We had a great show last night. We're going to have another good one tonight. I promise you, it's better than standing out in this rain. So get out there tonight and come and listen to the artists. They're just wonderful. Coach, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Norman. I want to back up just a moment. Carries yourself well, and it's an honor to me you be here this morning. And I'd like to say, if you'd like to say a few words, the mic's yours, buddy.
Well, I could move a little quicker back then than I can now, but I remember 1968 just like it was yesterday. And there's three people that meant a lot to me then, and still do then. I've kept up with them down through the years. That's Tommy Long, and Robbie Clyde, and Mr. Bassett. They were the greatest, and I coached football several years after I left here, but I can tell you my year here with these guys was the best. Now, didn't have any assistant coaches, so Mick Basil said, well, Tommy and Robin helped me. And they didn't know any football, but the thing about it, nobody else did, but I didn't know much either. But I tell you, they were just the best. And if you know athletics and you know kids and you like kids, you can coach it no matter what shape the ball is. And I'll just never forget it. And I remember them nearly every day. And I count Tommy Long as one of my best friends, mentor. And although I haven't seen him a lot in all these last 35, 40 years, I've seen him from time to time. He's never left my heart. Congratulations, Vic.
Thank you for coming, Jim. I called Jim in and I apologize to what he did.
I was there when you drove that GTO. Sat at the back door there. I sure was.
I wasn't going to use my name, but it was me.
Yeah, no, I hope it wasn't a revelation there to everybody. I appreciate being able to say just a few words. Mr. Long was so influential in my life. Mrs. Long so influential in my life. And just two points I would like to make. One is that we went to the state tournament twice in Mr. Long's head coaching career, and that's twice as many times as anybody's gone since then. Just think about that. I think that is right.
That's right.
I don't know how many wins exactly Mr. Long had. We don't talk about that a lot because in the great scheme of things, that's probably not the most important, and I agree with that. Mr. Long won lots of games, and he won lots of games he wasn't supposed to win, like the regional championship in 1970, for sure. When Bowling Green High had 3 or 4 major college players, we didn't have anybody over 6'2" or 6'3". We loved to play, which was awfully important. Mr. Long helped us to love to play. The thing I really want to emphasize about Mr. Long and about Mrs. Long is the fact that the good that they did is immortal. It will live forever, because when you take good teachers and you take teachers that are really interested in their young people. Mr. Long wasn't just interested in how many points you could score. If he had been, he would never had any interest in me. I assure you of that. But Mr. Long was interested in what kind of person you could become, what you could do, and how he could help you do that. And Mrs. Long right along beside him, doing that same thing. So when you teach as long as they did, and you were involved in so many young people's lives, your influence will live forever, because those young people can influence others with the same good things that they've learned at the feet of such instruction. And I would just say, personally, I think that, Mrs. Long especially probably helped make sure I married the right person. And when you do that, that makes all kinds of other things happen.
I let them court during study hall.
That's right.
And during basketball season.
All right. No, that's right. And those are all part of education and part of growing up. Mr. Long, he could meld individuals into teams. He could take those individuals and get the most out of them, and then he could take an interest in their life forever. Mr. Long been close to us, and when our daughter was so sick. But, Coach, this is so deserving, and your influence will go on beyond this day. You're not finished. You're not finished. You've got lots of good things yet to do. Thank you, Coach, for letting me say something.
Mr. Long, I got a little bit different take than everybody else here today. One of my goals starting this year was to lose a little weight. It's a slow process, but that was my goal, and I was really struggling. But I quit going to Griddles, and I started going to Subway in the last couple of months, because every time I go to Griddles, Tommy Long is telling me that something that Dawes Kennedy Road needs out by his farm. So, I mean, I'm going down there, and every day it's something else, so I decided I've got to avoid this. I'm going to start going to Subway or something. So, I had a guy the other day ask me, he said, is UPS going to put a hub out on Dawes Kennedy? So, I've never seen so much work going on out there. But anyway, I'm pushing the school board to hire him back, get him off that farm and back in the school system where he won't be calling me every day. Certainly appreciate a few minutes, and always glad to be a friend.
I just want to say what a wonderful friend Tom and Nancy have been to Jim and I. He said Tom was the best assistant coach that anybody could ever have. He never had his day of glory as he should have. And he got the world. And they had to sit up and listen. As you know, my husband was a very intense coach. And he had to sit up a lot of nights and listen to him. I also have an article that I say that Bert Barone, that was the writer, am I talking through wrote that about one ball game, and he said Keith Carroll and Tommy Long, the best two guards around anywhere, never made one mistake that entire ball game. So I think that they must have been two pretty good guards. And thanks, Tommy, for all you've done for me.
Now, yeah, you're gonna need your truck or trailer. This is from me to the mayor. More likely just me, Robbie Klein. I write the check, I pay for this, and I'm presenting it to you this morning as a friend. This is our, you know what it is? It says Tommy Long, Hometown Hero, 2013. Jim, he'll be able to put it wherever, just like yours, wherever he wants to put it. And that's what we'll charge, we put it up there, and people in the next 25, 30 years can come back and say, Tommy, your brick looks good. Linda, you got any more of those? Norman, I think she's finished there on that. If y'all want to mix and mingle,
Remember, I'd always straight, and you'd always have me crooked, and old Franklin Barber would have a fit.
I remember the first ball game we got in the where's the bus?
That's right, I remember that.
You all right, Johnny?